What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another ClearShot golf video. Today I've got a video for you that I'm really excited about, and I hope you are too. If you're like me, I'm always kind of wondering which ball I should be playing, or if I actually get any benefit from playing a premium ball like a Pro V1. So I'm not trying to do a test to see how good the Pro V1 is, because that's been done a million times. What we're going to do today is take a couple different balls from all different price points and test them out on our SkyTrak Golf Simulator to see if a mid-handicapper like myself, if I actually see any real benefit from a ball like a Pro V1. So let's go ahead and run through the balls that I picked up. For the first three balls, I went out to Golf Digest Hot List and pulled these off of them. So the first is obviously a Pro V1. This was $50 a box, which breaks down to, I don't know, over $4 a ball. The second is the TaylorMade Tour Response. This is about $35 a box and was, pretty recommended on Golf Digest. The third, this is what Golf Digest called an honorable mention because it's a $22 box of balls, but they said they're alright for the price. It's the Callaway Super Soft. And lastly, we've got the Top Flite Hammer. I picked this up from Dick's Sporting Goods. It was just the cheapest ball I could find. It was $15 for 15 balls. So I'm definitely not a pro. I'm not hitting the ball in the middle of the face every time. But there are still a couple things that I want to see happen. Like on short shots, I want to see them spin and stop quick. I want to see them launch well and stop on mid-range approach shots. And then I want to see them not really spin that much and travel a long ways when I'm hitting off the tee, like with driver. So I'm going to hit my 100-yard club, which is a 52-degree wedge. I'm going to hit my 7-iron, which is a common approach club for me. I'm going to hit my driver, and we're going to do 5 shots with each club on each ball, and then compare the numbers. I'm just going to take 5 shots straight out of the box like they'd be on a golf course. I'm not going to try to just include the perfect hits. I want to see, realistically, if there is a difference based on what I would see on a day-to-day basis. So try to keep it as straightforward as possible. And again, I already know that the Pro V1 is one of the best balls out there, but I've thought to myself a lot of times, I don't know if I'm good enough to play it, or if it's worth losing a couple balls around that I paid over $4 a piece for. So if I can find an advantage over the other balls, then I do think it's worth it. So that's what I want to find out. And by the way, if you like content like this, be sure you subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Leave a like on the video and let us know what balls you're playing. Also, there's a little SkyTrak launch monitor. One of my buddies gave that to me. We have a video up on our channel setting that up, so you should go check it out. And here's what we're looking at. So let's see what we got. So the first ball that we're going to start with is the Titleist Pro V1. I'm going to start with the 52-degree, then move into the 7-iron, then the driver, and then we'll go on to the next ball. So I might just hurry up some of the shots, maybe chat a little bit in between, but here we go. So we're finished with the 52-degree on the Pro V1. Now we're going to move on to the 7-iron. the 7-iron and our Pro V1s. These weren't the best hits, but it's pretty realistic. So, onto the driver. I'd say my driver is probably my least consistent club. If I hit it well, I might be able to carry it like 230, 240 yards. But this is what that dispersion pattern looks like. It's all over the place. That's okay. It's a lot of spin actually on that last shot. Alright, well, we're done with all the testing for the Pro V1. So now we're going to move into the TaylorMade tour response. I'm expecting that this is going to perform similarly to the Pro V1, but maybe just not quite as good. We'll see. Starting with the tour response in the 52 degree. That's the 52 degree. I feel like, I don't know, starting to hit them worse than usual right now, so I'm gonna take a break, come back, and we'll do the 7-iron. Felt like I was hitting the tour response a little bit better, but that's not due to the ball. That was just due to me getting a little bit more warmed up and striking things a little bit better. But either way, let's move on to the Callaway Super Soft. So we're down to the last ball. All we have left is a top Flite hammer. It's got a pretty interesting dimple pattern to it, and this one feels really hard. This feels the cheapest, and it is the cheapest, but let's see how it performs. We got 2 more clubs left with the top Flite hammer. Then I guess we're just gonna look at the results. So we finished with all the testing. Now I just got to pull all the data from the SkyTrak software and try to see if I can figure out what performed the best, what performed the worst. What's up? So we're back. Wearing different clothes because after I was hitting balls on the simulator yesterday, I had to go out and play a round of golf. So I put together all the numbers in a spreadsheet, printed them out, and I'll probably pop them up on the screen so you can see them too. As you saw in the video footage, I didn't hit everything well at all. Some balls I feel like I actually hit better than others, but it just is what it is. Looking at this, I don't know if it really had an impact on the numbers, so we'll run through it anyways and see what we figure out. First, let's look at the 52-degree wedge. So what I'm looking for with this club, I usually expect to hit it about 100 yards. So I want it to have enough spin where it's gonna go where I'm aiming and stop, not really run out a lot. I don't know what an ideal launch figure is going to be, but I included those anyways. The Pro V1 and the Tour Response, they both carried the same distance and they stopped, so they didn't run out. There was almost 1,000 RPM difference in backspin though between those two. The Callaway Super Soft hit that like 10 yards further. I don't know why, but I did. And then the top Flite hammer actually looks like it spun back quite a bit, so I think there was just a random shot in there that rolled back a couple yards. Anyways, yeah, so I guess for 52-degree wedges, I don't know if I'd say there's a clear winner. I do prefer that the Pro V1 has the highest backspin rate though, so I feel like I would be the most consistent with that. I'd probably call that round a draw with a slight edge towards the Pro V1. Next, we'll take a look at the 7-iron. I usually expect to carry the 7-iron around 150 yards, and I don't want it to roll out a bunch, so it needs a fair amount of spin, and then a couple yards of rollout I would say is acceptable. Pro V1 carried 151 with a 154 total. Tour Response was 153 with a 159 total. The Super Soft was 147 with a 153 total, and then the hammer was 138 with a 143 total. So the hammer actually in this test had the most backspin. I think if I was just trying to get perfect shots in there, we wouldn't find that, but in this specific instance with the 5 shots that I hit, I had the highest spin, but every ball except for the Pro V1 had a decent amount of rollout. We had 6 yards of rollout on the Tour Response, we had 6 yards of rollout on the Super Soft, and we had 5 yards of rollout on the hammer, where we only had 3 yards of rollout with the Pro V1. Even though it didn't have the backspin numbers there, I still think that the Pro V1 would win that round for me, but still not massive differences. Last category, we've got the driver. For driver, I want obviously to have the lowest amount of spin possible and get the ball to travel the furthest. I don't have an insanely high swing speed or anything like that, and I definitely don't make consistent contact, so any bit of assistance I can get off the tee is helpful for me. I had very similar results between the Pro Vs, the TaylorMade, and the Super Soft. The ball speed was identical. The carry distances were very similar, within a couple yards. The total distances average were similar as well. The Pro V1 did average the furthest distance at 245 total yards, but it didn't have the lowest spin. It was 3,047. Ideally, you want that closer to 2,000. The hammer, I don't know what was going on with that. I hit them really bad. That's not even a comparison between the other balls. I guess in summary, just the averages on the data that we're looking at in this test with somebody like myself that's an inconsistent ball striker, I still think the Pro V1 comes out as the best ball. For me, there isn't a huge amount of difference between the Pro V1, the Tour Response, and the Super Soft. I guess the biggest thing is, I don't know, maybe confidence for me. I would feel better playing a premium ball just because I know that it's going to give me the best opportunity to score. Assuming that I hit everything well. Obviously, a shank is still going to be a shank, regardless of what ball you hit. I don't really think if I play with the Pro V1 that it's going to shave any strokes off of my game. But I think even just looking at average numbers, there is a trend that the Pro V1 still does give you the best competitive advantage. So if you're willing to spend the money on them, or just a premium ball in general, I think you'll have the best opportunity to score well. I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference in your game. I don't really mind losing Pro V1s. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'll maybe go through a sleeve and a round. And that's something I can deal with. If I played something else besides a premium ball, then I'd probably just use it as an excuse for why I hit bad shots. But I think if I went out with any of these, they would perform very similarly for me. The only other thing that I would say is that the Super Soft and the hammer are both really hard feeling balls. I don't like the way they feel. I tested them with the putter, even though I didn't videotape that, and they both feel kind of clinky coming off the putter face. And that's not something I really like. So for me, I think I still prefer that softer feel that we get from one of the more premium balls. But anyways, I know that test wasn't super scientific, but it's helpful for me. It's helpful to feel like it at least reaffirms a little bit that playing a premium ball is the best option regardless of your skill level. But it also lets me know that it's not actually saving my game in any way. So I could probably play a cheaper ball and still do just fine. Well, let me know what you think about the video in the comments. Let me know what golf ball you play. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us both out. Austin just had a baby, so he's got to pay for that. That's why we haven't been here in a while. Stay tuned, and we'll see you again soon.